Alright, y'all. Shalom. All praise to the Most High. So, it is recovering. But the Holy Spirit led me to tell this story. Alright? So, once in a point of time, I would say 10 years, I was alcoholic. I've been 10 years sober, I believe. If I do the math, I don't even keep up with it no more. It's about 10 years, no less than 9. Alright, so uh, I used to think that I just stopped drinking all of a sudden. But a few years ago, maybe, God let me, well, He revealed to me that well, He let me remember that day that I walked for 12 hours. He let me, because I somewhat put that day in the back of my head, but it was brought to my memory. So I have a, I guess I call it a gift, but I know how to block things out. So some things can happen to me, and I got a room in my head that I put stuff in there, and I close the door, and it's there, but I don't go back to that room because I don't like what's in there. So anyway, uh, I was an alcoholic. I started drinking at 14 years old, and one thing that I realized the first time that I got drunk and I was puking my insides out, I woke up the next day and I didn't feel hungover. So essentially, my father passed on an alcoholic trait or something to me that I didn't get hangovers. Like, it was very rare that I would get a hangover. I might have had a few, but the way people was like, man, I'm not drinking now. Man, I'd be around here. Next thing you know, next morning, I'm like, where the drink at? I'm like, drink? Boy, you know how much you was throwing up last night? You looking for some drink now? Like, man, that's what I do. Anyway, uh, so I got kicked out the military for drinking. Now, I knew my superiors were after me. 'Cause I had people who messed with me that was high ranking. They were, hey man, they want you, so chill out, man. Man, whatever. Look, I do my PT. I'm top 5%. You know, I go to work, I do my job, but when I get off work, man, I want to drink. Look, if I drink and get toe up from the floor up, man, that's my business. But in the military, that's not how it goes. They say You're a soldier 24 hours a day. So I'm 23. I'm alcoholic before I got into the military. But now I have unlimited funds to support my habit. And I'm in a different country. So I had a problem with authority. So I had a problem with somebody telling me what to do on my time off. Man, I did what I had to do all day. Now it's my time. So I knew they was after me. They finally got me on some technicalities. But that was my fault because I gave them the ammunition. I don't regret it though. So I came home and still didn't learn my lesson. I blew all my money in the military. I only had $5,000 when I came home. And the only reason why I had that money, I lost my card out there. When I knew I was getting kicked out, so I just told my mom to keep my card, don't even send it to me. So I stacked up my last few checks, bought me a little Cutlass Supreme. I love that back man. Ain't nothing like them old school. Excuse my hand, but reminisce. So bought me a Cutlass Supreme, paid up my phone bill for a few months, and I blew the rest of that money. So my mama had to kick me out. Not really because she wanted to, but she had to. I kind of forced her hand, but really, man, people had it out for me, but I didn't make it easy for nobody. Man, this off-duty lawman stayed in my apartment. Man, he didn't like me, and he go lie to the office talking about I was over here indecent exposure in my car. Like, bro, if I was doing that, why you ain't take a picture? So he gonna tell the office that. The office tell my mama, you gotta kick him out or we gonna kick you out. So my mama called me, then you gotta go. Man, that day I cried my eyes out. Not because I got kicked out, because I ain't got kicked out before, but because I felt like the last person I had on my side had just turned their back on me. So, I understood. I forced the hand. So I was sleeping in my car for a few months, and I was jumping around place to place. My brother ended up finding me on Facebook from my dad's side. He was like, "Hey man, come down here." He didn't even know my situation. God sent him to me because I had so much pride at that time in my life that I was sleeping in my car, and I probably didn't even have to sleep in my car. I could have easily, hey man, let me post up. Come on, man. But I just wasn't gonna ask. I wasn't asking nobody nothing. Hey, it is what it is. I had I had my boy Greg, man. Greg helped me out, man. Greg made me come stay with him and his people for a you at? I'm in my car. Man, come on over here. I go over there for a day. You know, I was jumping from house to house, but I sleep in my car. I ain't tripping, man. You know, I done slept in vacants. I done slept on floor. In a car? Hey, I'm good. Say, so he'll tell me, man, come on. I go there for a day and then I leave. Like, you know, I ain't into wearing out my welcome. I leave. A couple days later, next day or something, hey, where you at? I'm in my car. Man, come on over here, man. It's cold. And it just made me stay, and like I'm forever indebted to Greg for that, man. But that was that was a different part of the story. But anyway, so my brother called me, right? He said, man, I'm finna send you some money. Get on the Greyhound and come on up here. I said, all right. I shot up there. So I met my father, right? Um, I wasn't gonna meet my father because I had beef with my old man because he wasn't there. So, you know, and my grandma actually kept me off him because I gave her my word that I wouldn't put them hands on him. So I honored my word, and because I was gonna lace him up. But when I met my, well, I sat there and I was like, man, you know what? You need to go see him and get this stuff off your chest because you need to move on. Time for you to let this stuff go. So I told my brother, all right, man, you can take me over there. So I went over there. His mama was mean. My grandma was mean, boy. She cutthroat. Rest her soul too. But she ain't like, I ain't gonna, she ain't care for me like that. I can't really blame nobody, you know. Anyway, I met, man, when I go by the room, he was in the bed, man. He tried to get out that bed, man. He was so frail. I just started laughing. Like, what you laughing at? I'm like, man, you just looking all broke up. I ain't even, at that moment, I looked at him like, man, I don't even want to beat him up. Like, what kind of enjoyment would I get beating up on this man? But anyway, fast forward my time in Kansas City. All right, so I got we went to me and my brother. We went to a wedding with my nephew and some, it was some more people, but I was a drinker too, where I would only drink on, well, I like to drink on an empty stomach. I like to get drunk. I would eat after I was drunk. This was when, not for logo, Lima Ritas, I think they were called, little cans. But they, them little cans will bite you. Little cans had some, I don't know what they had in there, but you drink enough of them and they gonna split you open. I drunk some of them things, man. I drunk a lot of them. Man, when you had liquor around me, man, you better ration me, cause I'll drink of all your stuff. I'm trying to tell you, that I ain't what no stopping me. I blew a .36 in the military. That's another story. So all I remember this night, cause they went in the club, and me and my nephew wasn't. Me and my nephew was sitting in the car. I think my nephew didn't have his ID or he was too young to get in. I was too drunk to go in. So I was in the car drinking La Marita still. So what happened was my nephew drove off in the car and wrecked the car. And when the police came, I was sitting in the driver's seat. Or I don't even remember the whole story or how it was told to me because I don't remember the story. All I remember that night from I remember drinking at the wedding, and I remember sitting talking to the police, and the only thing that I kept saying to the police was I don't know. Cause I used to listen to this song by BG, and he said, only thing I tell to the police is I don't know. So that's all I kept telling the police is I don't know. I don't know. So they end up taking me to jail to sober up. All right, so I wake up the next day. It was a Sunday. I had a phone clip on my pants. So I'm like, I wake up in jail, but I got a phone clip. So I've been in jail a few times. They didn't take everything from me. So this is weird. This is not like I'm actually in jail. So I'm sitting there banging on the door like I'm still lit. I'm still drunk, boy. Boom, 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 boom. But I ain't drunk. Hey man, let me out, man. What I do? Like, I'm trying to. Hey man, what's going on? I'm thinking. First thing I'm thinking is like, man, I probably gonna fault my brother. So they finally let me out. They was like, man, you ain't here for uh, intoxic. They was just letting you sober up. So they let me out. I'm in downtown Kansas City, Missouri. That's where I was born. My brother lives in Kansas City, Kansas. Kansas City, Missouri is where my father lives. Where my old man lives. So I leave out. I don't have no phone. I got $2 in my pocket, and I don't even know where I'm going. So I just start asking people, hey, I can't remember what it's called now, but it's like shiny something in Kansas City, Kansas, because I didn't know exactly where I stayed, where my brother stayed, but I knew in the general area, and I was just depending on, man, if I can just get close enough, man, I think if my life depended on it, I'm gonna find it. I, what other choice that I got? I can call my mother and tell her to get my father's number and get my brother's number and come scoop me up, but I don't even know what happened. So I I really don't even I really don't even wanna Man, I don't know. So I just start walking, and man, I was talking to God. Like, I don't know if I ever cried out to God like that before. To this day, because I had been tired. Like, alcohol almost really ruined my life. Like, if I told y'all all the stuff that had to do with alcohol in my lifetime, you would have been looking at me like, you ain't stopped fasting. But to each his own. We live and learn when we want to learn. So we have to understand that God is working on us even when we don't even know He's working on us. So for 12 hours, all I could do was talk to God. And I told God, I'm tired. And I cried a lot of times. A lot of times in 12 hours, man, I did a lot of crying. Like, I ain't know where I was at. I ain't had no money. I bought a soda or something. I thought that I done, cause I burned almost all my, I probably burnt all my bridges, and then I burnt, I figured I burnt the bridge with my brother when he sent for me, and I messed that up. So, man, I finally get there, right? Late in the morning, like 4 or 5 in the morning. Actually, these chicks picked me up. And they didn't even know me. I don't even remember how I they picked me up. I guess they was my guardian angel or something. But I ended up going to a gay bar with them, and I'm like, man, I don't want to go to no gay bar. But I was like, man, I've been walking for 12 hours. I don't care where you take me. I just want to sit down, and if y'all gonna take me, I'm like, man. Well, I probably asked them for directions, and they was like, man, we'll take you or whatever. So I ended up going to a gay bar with him. I'm like, and the chick was like, I'll just act like you with me. And anyway, I ended up having a couple more shots after that. Just didn't feel the same. And so I get to my brother's house finally, and he pulled up. And boy, that look on my brother's face, man, my brother is very unconfrontational. Like, I've never seen my brother get mad. Like, he just didn't get mad. I never seen him get. I never hear him yelling. I would hate to see my brother get mad because I'm probably a tornado. But anyway, he was like, "Man, I'm taking you to Dad's house. Get your stuff." That hurt me far worse than him hitting on me. Like, cause I wouldn't even fought him back. He was like, "You wrecked my girl car." I was like, "I don't remember, so I can't tell you that I did." And come to find out, my nephew did it, but I couldn't say no, I didn't do it because I blacked out. And I'm not gonna say I didn't do it if I can't verify that I didn't do it, because I don't know. And that's what I said. I said I don't remember. I don't know. So it is what it is. I'm sorry. I got to my old man's house, man, and all this stuff, it all had its place. And one thing, one thing, excuse one thing I wish I did differently was I actually told my father how I truly felt without being emotional. Because the times that I did talk to my father, I was drunk and I was very aggressive. And sometimes, probably more times than not, I come off aggressive when I'm not being or trying to be aggressive. Just, just, I'm not I don't communicate well sometimes. Okay, so, and I was just angry with him, and I just really wanted him to like buck on me, like say something like, man, I will punch you in your, because I really had a conversation with my dad when I was 18. He didn't call me uh, for 4 years. That's when he lost me. I didn't respect him after that. My mom got married and he stopped calling. So he called me. I answered the phone. Yeah. Said, hey. I said, what's up? He say, you know who you talking to? I say, yeah. I said, who you talking to? I said, Ralph. I say, who? I said, Ralph. I said, man. He said, boy, you can't call me daddy, don't call me nothing. I looked at the phone. You see me? I said, excuse me. I said, N word, F you. And hung up on him. I ain't talked to him for a long time after that. And my mama told me something about him one time, and boy, the heat I had for him was like times two or three. So one day I told my grandma, I'm like, man, before I can forgive him, we gonna have to catch a square. And my grandma was like, nah, let it go. It's all right, grandma. Put you out with it. And I end up calling him like when I was 21, maybe 22, had my own place. I was high as a kite one night. You know, I used to call people at 2, 3 in the morning. I didn't care what time it was. I'm gonna call you, whatever. I called him. Say, man, like, man, what you doing calling me this way? I say, man, you lucky I'm even calling you. He said, so I said, man, I said, man, I was gonna, I was gonna beat you up, but I was gonna tell him, but my grandma told me not to. So, whatever. But before I can even finish the sentence, he said, boy, if you ever put your hands on me, I'ma kill you. And I looked at the phone, I laughed again. I said, man, if I don't kill you first. So I know that was in the back of his head the whole time I was down there. How I know? Because we was going to get my ID down there. My brother was driving behind him. He was in front. He was was swerving. So when we get to the DPS office, he asked my brother, he was like, "You seen me swerving?" I was like, "Nah." Like, man, I was looking for my pistol. And I started chuckling like, I don't care about no pistol. I think I'm invincible anyway, man. Anyway, man gave me $50 and said, and don't say I ain't never gave you nothing. Boy, if I wasn't broke, I would have been like, man, keep that $50. But boy, I was so broke, I ain't had lit in my pocket. I took that 50. But I didn't I didn't get to tell him how I truly felt without being confrontational. I don't even know. I can't even remember the point of the story right now. So, oh, okay. So, but so I'm at my old man house. He can't send me back home yet because he needs to get his check money. I don't want to call home and ask nobody for no money because I done already messed up all my little lifelines at the house. So I gotta wait on this man to get me home. And his mama over here talking about it. Whenever you leave, you need to take him with you. That's your son. I'll tell you, my grandma was a goon. So she was like, you done messed up that girl car and all this stuff, man. My grandma just speak her mind. You know, I was whatever. So my old man would jump in the car, go get some ice, go get 12 pack of Heineken, and have him a bottle of Remy in the car. And he would roll around Kansas City and stop place to place. Chop it up with this person, chop it up with this person. And I chop him up wherever we go. I ain't care what you want to do. Alright. I chop him up so bad in front of his girlfriend. Anyway, I drunk a couple drinks with him. Matter of fact, my last drink was with him. Ironically. But the final straw that made me stop was the icing on the cake, I should say. My uncle picked me up, rolled me around, showed me his apartment. I mean his rental houses and his cars and stuff. He's like, man, look, said something to me that stuck to me to this day. He said, I can show you all this and I can tell you all this stuff. I can tell you all the stuff that I've been through, but it ain't gonna mean nothing until it means something to you. Let me say it again. He said, it ain't gonna mean nothing until it means something to you. And that's when I was like, that's it. I'm done. So I made the story long. Even if you made it this far, you probably love me. But God is always working, even when you don't realize it. There's things going on in your life that you don't even understand, but you will understand down the line. because it's a puzzle, and all the pieces that you pick up might necessarily, might not necessarily fit together. But when you grab all the puzzle pieces and put them on the board, they all come together. If that even makes sense. I wish I could articulate the thoughts in my head to speak the words, man. Because if I could let people in my head, they'd be like, "Boy, boy, you something, man." I'm a information nut. Like I like information. I like to obtain knowledge and wisdom. So, but I did a lot of drugs and drunk a lot of liquor, and my brain works on its own terms. So, it's something I realized about myself. So, I might not necessarily can explain it to you the way that I'm thinking it, but believe me, I got something up here. But the beginning of knowledge is the fear of the Lord.